And we'll start first with an opening statement from Coach Cook, and then we'll open the floor to questions.
Well, first of all, thanks to everyone for being here today. It's an exciting week for us. We open our competitive season, as Nicole mentions, at Jeffrey Field against an excellent opponent. Going into my second year, I just would say that preseason has been very enjoyable. There's a lot of positive signs. I think you'll see from your notes that we have over half the team new. In other words, only 12 of the 25 current team members were with us in the 2018 season. So I think we built a good foundation last year, and now we look forward to 2019 with a lot of energy, enthusiasm, and we've shown in a very quick preseason. It's gone by in a flash, but I think we've seen a lot of positive signs as we get ready to take on Stanford Friday night.
Coach, obviously, last year being your first year, your first year back in the college game in some time. What did you learn about yourself, how the college game had changed since you last coached?
I'm a big believer in college soccer in general, and specifically in United States soccer. So I was, very impressed with the increase in the level of play. I believe every year it improves. And certainly, Aaron's an example of contributions from international student athletes that can make really positive impacts and enrich the quality of the game and the experience of teammates and opponents. So, but I do think that the level has been underrated nationally, if I'm honest. And I think the ability to play in incredible venues that we have the good fortune here at Penn State to play in and around the Big Ten and other top programs in the United States provides a really great student-athlete experience, first of all, and also for the top players. You've seen a long history in the Big Ten in particular, and Penn State's included in that, where student-athletes can come, have an incredible experience in college soccer, and at the end of the day, with a degree in their back pocket, can pursue their dreams of playing at the next level, whether that's here in the United States or abroad. So I think it's, I think it's been exciting. It's been enjoyable to see the growth and development of our players. Has been really rewarding, and I can't wait for year two.
And, obviously, I'm sure your players learned a lot playing under you last year. But
No doubt about that.
What did you learn about kind of yourself your first year back kind of in the swing of coaching at the collegiate level full time?
I hope you always reflect as a coach. I've been in this for quite a while, and I think learning how to pace the season and really understanding that our student athletes, our team members, and Pierre and Aaron are excellent at balancing their academic, athletic lives and also their contributions to the community and what they want to do maybe off the field. So I hope that I become more patient and understanding that I believe that our players only have desire to get better and improve. Erica just talked about that, right, in player development and improving your ability to impact the team over the course of the season and ultimately over the course of someone's career. And I hope, in terms of myself, I hope I've gotten better at reflecting and understanding that, okay, Pierre's needs might be different than the other guy in his position. Aaron's, where he is in his development at this moment in time, might be slightly different than other squad members. So having that approach to, it's hard because you can't have 25 different things going on every single day at practice, but an appreciation that each student athlete, each player has their own journey, their own plan in order to maximize their potential to reach their goals. And that's something I hope that we're constantly improving on.
Faridi, in recent news with professional players just talking about kind of dealing with injuries, say like the NFL, Andrew Luck, Gronk, guys retiring early. And you've dealt with injuries the past few years yourself. I'm just curious, how do you prepare yourself for this season to kind of put yourself past those mental barriers and get yourself back out into the field this year?
Right. I think for me, the biggest part was just trying to set myself back as little as possible the past 2 years. So whether that's getting in the weight room for an extra lift with KJ or doing like core workouts while the guys are practicing. But at the end of the day, just like making sure I'm still working out while these guys are working out. And I've done that the last 2 years, and right now I feel really good, and I'm ready for the season to start. So.
And, missing the last 2 years, was it harder for you mentally or physically to not be able to, be out there and help your team win?
Definitely mentally, but with the support of the guys and the coaching staff, it's been easy to stay all in. So yeah.
And, Coach, obviously you've got a guy sitting next to you who was named preseason All-Big Ten despite missing the last 2 years. What do you think that says about Pierre and the skills that he brings?
Well, I think when you watch Pierre's reaction to what happened last summer, it's nothing short of inspirational. I couldn't say that I would be as able to handle it and step right back and get right back at the rehab and the long hours of, challenge that are there for an athlete in that position. And it's worth noting, Aaron and Pierre together set I believe, a school record in the 30-15 conditioning test in preseason. So to come off, 2 consecutive rehabs and be the fittest guy or co-fittest guy in the team shows you his impact. But also concentrating in film sessions, being on the field wherever he could do to stay connected and invested. And I do have a little bit of history when I was at the Union. Pierre played for Reading United, who's the Philadelphia Union's PDL affiliate. So I've seen Pierre in action, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him live and in person and coaching him through this year. And as I say, what he's done in almost 30 years of coaching, I've never seen anything like it. And it's so impressive and a testament to his attitude, but also it's the team behind the team, so to speak, and our performance coaches, our medical staff, and Matt Armistead, our trainer. Nobody ever blinked, and no one ever said, up here, it's not going to happen, and just sort of give up. Everyone's like, okay, next day, let's do it. And we got him back.
And, Pierre, how important for you was that confidence from your team, from your coaches, to helping you kind of get over those mental roadblocks?
It was everything. Having the support of them has allowed me to, show up every day with a smile on my face and ready to get after it and work towards Friday night, basically. So.
Looking more towards the attacking side of the team this year with the departures of Raffanello and Ethan Beckford, just curious as to how your style of play may change this year with regards to the attacking side.
Yeah, I feel that we've been really threatening this preseason in terms of getting numbers into dangerous positions. When we go forward, we have a great mentality to get numbers into the other positions penalty area, regardless of who we're playing or whether or not we're playing home and away. So I believe that the team collectively can be a threat, and I think it's maybe in some ways ironic that it's harder for teams to identify where the scoring threat might come from. Could be a set piece from a defender going forward on a corner kick or a wide free kick, for example. Aaron's been out working on his free kick, so he's going to be a threat. But other guys, we have a 2 or 3 really talented left footers in the group. So I think there's a lot of ways we can get goals. And the whole preseason we've been harping on. It's 25 student athletes, it's 25 team members, and we're going to do it together, with and without the ball.
And, obviously with those 2 guys leaving, obviously any time you're coaching in the college ranks, that is, I'm sure, a real prospect. Were you always going to be supportive of whatever decision that they made, regardless of what their decision was?
Well, I think any student athlete, any individual has the right to choose their own future. So I would never say that it's my decision for a player that I'm coaching. I would have to say in Jeremy's case, I was surprised, based on the fact that, he had 3 goals in 18 games last season, I think it was, and a promising young player who then went to Reading United again, who I mentioned previously, and was kind of having a hard time getting into their lineup. So I think it was a little surprising to go from that platform into a professional career. But then I thought to myself, with all due respect to Denmark, the Danish league is a good league, but it's probably, if you look at European soccer, it's probably middle of the table. I'd say 10th, 11th, 12th, somewhere in there. And the team Jeremy signed for is in the 3rd division. So then I thought, well, okay, maybe that makes sense, and he made a choice for himself. I think we have a lot of depth as we added players to our program, a lot of quality, a lot of competition. And perhaps there was an aspect of he wanted to be a little bit more sure he could play the role he hoped for. So, all I can do is wish him well. He made a decision that surprised me, but I hope that he can find a level that he can play at. But I have great confidence in our group, and I think it's important that we keep our eyes on the group that is here. And I've been extremely impressed in preseason with the guys that are in those positions.
And, Aaron, your coach earlier talked about how you bring kind of an international flair to this American game. What for you were kind of the big differences, and what have been some of the bigger adjustments that you think you've had to make over the years?
Just kind of moving to a whole new country, getting used to their setup, really. I know we've got a couple of international guys in with Callum still here. I know a couple of lads, they transferred. But yeah, it's just a whole different flavour, a different culture, brings something different to the table. And although we can learn from the guys in the team, they can also learn something from us. So I think it's a good balance between the international and national teams right now.
And, when you guys look back at the year that you had last year, and for any of you, what were some of the big takeaways from either what went right, maybe what went wrong, what you guys can improve on?
Yeah, I think last year we had a very good squad, and we were unlucky in a couple of the games. But I think we've had a fantastic end to the season last year, and we built into the spring. And the guys that came in this year, I think we're all ready, whether they're freshmen, transfers, or the guys returning. But yeah, we're focusing on this season. I know we've got a tough schedule, but it's what we asked for. We want to play against the best teams in conference, out of conference. But yeah, we're focused and ready for the upcoming season.
Yeah, I mean, to add to that real quick, I think this preseason we came in fitter than we have any past season. We've had a higher GPA this year, so I think in all aspects the team's really flourished in those things. So I look forward to the season.
And, Coach, you guys brought in a top 10 or 15 recruiting class this year. It only being your second year to be able to accomplish that with, a 6-9-2 record last year. How much of it do you think is Penn State selling itself? How much of it do you think is the product you're putting out there, or you as a person? What do you think are the factors?
Yeah, I think it's a good question. First of all, we're really proud to represent Penn State University. I think that's the first draw. You come to, in my mind, one of the elite academic and athletic institutions in the United States. So that's a big draw for players from around the country, and a little bit of trying to motivate, sell our vision of where this program can go as you look around our sports programs for women and for men, and team sports, individual sports, in all different shapes, sizes, and competitive arenas. Penn State succeeds at an elite level, and I believe with every grain of my body that we can do the same thing in men's soccer. We have a great relationship with the women's soccer program, and Erica and her staff do a great job. I would compliment Greg Dalby and Tunde Ogunbi, my two assistant coaches. They were instrumental in the recruiting process, and I think engaging with student athletes, prospects, their families, and telling them what kind of experience we're going to try and create the environment. I can't promise someone you're going to play every minute of every game, or you're going to score this many goals, or we're going to do this or that. Time will tell. Those things will be quantified over time. But what we can say is what the environment's going to be like, what we're going to strive for in terms of the experience. So we feel that those guys have hit the ground running and making really good contributions. But the future's bright for them, but they've got a challenge to get into our team and to uphold the standards that Penn State represents. And I think that's a huge draw for us.
And, with guys like Daniel Gonzalez off the bench and some other key depth players, do you feel your depth is comparable to years past, and how important is that going to be for you guys?
We feel there's a clear understanding of everyone's roles, and people are really buying into the fact that in one game, it might be somebody that steps up and makes a great play, and then next week it might be somebody else. So whether you're on the field for 10 minutes or you're on the field for the full 90 or even an overtime situation, I have really great confidence in our depth and to put multiple guys into the game at a moment's notice.
And, Aaron and Pierre, you guys have been around this program for a long time. What's impressed you about kind of this crop of freshmen that's come in?
Yeah, what surprised me is they sometimes they don't act like freshmen. They're coming in and they want to play straight away. They know the level's pretty high, but they're up for it. We've got the likes of Shakes, Gain Stevenson, Liam Butts, all fantastic players who are going to play a big part for us this season. So yeah, I think that was a big part. They had a great summer with the strength coach, getting used to the school. But yeah, they know that they're going to play a big role in this team this year.
Yeah, like Aaron was saying, there's a lot of talented guys within that group, and I think it's going to drive a lot of competition within the team, and overall just make us better.
And Coach, when you have talented freshmen like that, is the philosophy to get them in as many games as possible, to get them as battle tested as early as possible, or kind of ease their way in?
What we've shared with the team is that every week when we select a team, starting Friday night against Stanford, we're going to put the 11 players on the field that we feel give us the best chance to win that game and to compete successfully. So, the fact whether or not someone's a transfer, a first-year student athlete, or deeper into their career doesn't really come into our calculations. It's kind of like, what's the training week been like? Are they healthy? Are they ready to go? Do they understand what the expectations are? And if they do, they check all those boxes, then they play. So that, I think experience tells you that it's harder for first-year student athletes to adjust to the level and maintain that. The college soccer season is very, very fast paced. It's compact. There's lots of games that come on top of each other. So it's a difficult challenge for them, but we're going to take that on a game by game basis and pick the best guys we think are ready to play.
And, Pierre and Aaron, for you guys, obviously it being Coach Cook's second year, what impressed you about kind of what he implemented last year, whether it was a philosophy thing, tactical thing?
Yeah, I think we focused on ourselves a lot. Like we're Penn State, big school academically and with soccer wise, so we like to focus on ourselves and test ourselves against the best teams. If you look at our schedule, we're playing some really good teams. So I mean, all credit to coach. He wants to test us against the best teams, and that's why we respect. So that's what we're aiming towards.
Right, and the coaching staff does a great job of preparing us, whether it's from film or taking care of the little details, but they've done a really good job.
How important do you guys think chemistry is for, this unit with a lot of guys either being newer or maybe not having a ton of experience?
We focused a ton on what our program is going to be like in terms of our values and our team culture. In a kind of, that's a fancy way for saying how are we going to live together. So relationships mean everything, and we spent a lot of time last spring semester working towards that chemistry you're talking about. What we've tried to do is bring a reality to that, and it's one thing to have nice presentations or posters on the wall or slogans or whatever, but when things get challenging, when you have a run of games where maybe you get a bad bounce here or there, or the pressures of school and playing time versus not playing time or what have you, can we have that unity and that chemistry when the moments are really tough? Because what I would echo that both Aaron and Pierre have mentioned, that we're in this for the long haul. We want to be playing important games in November and on into the NCAA tournament. That's our goal, and we're going to do everything possible to take care of all these details. And I think the relationships, the culture of the team, how we carry ourselves on and off the field, I think that drives winning. I really do. I don't think you can say we're going to be great on game day, but we're not going to practice well. I don't think you can be great in training if behind the scenes maybe your academic life is a little chaotic and not taking care of the details there. So I think it's all connected for me. In that chemistry, we're off to a really good start, and now things get busy, things get stressful, and we got to maintain that positive culture that we're starting off with.
All right. Thanks, guys. Reminder,
Thanks,
men's
everyone.
soccer opens
Thank
Friday
you.
night, Jeffrey
Thank you, Aaron.
Field
Well done.
against number 5 Stanford. If you need credentials, let me know.
Out for the game.
Thanks, Nicole.
Thanks, Nicole.